All right, so I'm here with my good friend Jessica Kestermann. This is going to be a new segment. I'm probably going to do occasionally, just called the buddy chat or something like that. Because I was trying to figure out how to fit you into my the mold of this podcast, because it's not. I know it seems random, but it's not. And I mean I've got certain reasons for doing certain interviews or whatnot, and you didn't really fit into some of those.
And that's totally fine.
Well, no, I appreciate it. I'm always trying to evolve. So, I mean, we're coming up on like I call it the 5-year anniversary, but it's probably technically the 4-year anniversary of this thing. So, I mean, not bad. So,
Yeah.
anyway, so yeah. So, you and I have known each other for how many years? 3 years?
2019.
20. Oh, 4 years. Okay. Yeah.
Remember? Because I tried trail and I didn't like it. We remember.
I just remember sitting in the back of whose car was that? Shalene's?
Yeah, Ginger's car, I think.
Oh, Ginger's. Okay. It was like a
Yeah.
Prius or something. I don't know. It was a red car. I just remember that. We were freezing our asses off up at Pedernales.
Yeah.
And or as the hill country people call it, Pedernales.
Oh, excuse
Yeah,
me.
and Logan will get on your butt about that. Okay.
She probably will.
We don't, Anyway, so yeah, you and I sat in the back of the car trying to stay warm while we were waiting for the rest of the crew to finish up, because we're both in this San Antonio off-road runners group, or we were, and we still kind of are. But yeah, and okay, full disclaimer, because I know you're going to make me feel you're going to say it anyway, but Jessica is officially half my age. So. I'm basically her parent.
I didn't.
I know. But it's so funny that we're friends. I mean, it's just like, oh my God, this is so weird. But I have a lot of other people who are younger and good friends and all that. But yeah, so we've just kind of been buds for a while. And so tell me about your running career. Have you always been a runner?
No. Okay.
I didn't think so.
In high school, but it was high school. And then I started in 2016 with my dad at 5K in Stone Oak Methodist around the hospital.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't like a real 5K, it was like short of a 5K. And ever since then,
pseudo 5K, yeah.
Yeah. Ever since then, I just took off, and my dad and I still run together from this day forward. Not all the time, but occasionally, and I got into trail running because of Shalene and Dora. So shout out to them, even though I hated it.
Well, yeah, I mean, everything's hard at first, but then you start realizing, wait, this is where all the cool people are.
That's how we met, right?
I know. Well, I don't know about that, but that's what I would like to think. Yes. So, so you, actually getting back to your dad, and you, and I know I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but you and your dad did the Tinajas half marathon a couple of years ago, right?
2021. Yeah, we did that together. Yeah, we've done a 10-miler together. We'll do road races together. It's just something we'll run in the neighborhood. We had Global Running Day together, 5K in the neighborhood, and that's kind of our bonding thing.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And your mom's not a runner then?
No, not at all.
And you have a sister. You have a sister who's in the military?
Yeah, but she's not a runner either.
She's not a runner either. Okay.
No.
Get that out of the way. All right. So, oh yeah, look at my t-shirt.
I saw that. I was like, I really like that shirt.
She gave this to me. I forget which, it was Christmas or a birthday, but yeah, it's like, I didn't do this on purpose, but I just kind of pulled it out. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, I got a running shirt on too. So,
I'm telling you, it's like, I know when I go to the gym now, it's like, I have to really be careful because most everybody there, they wear like neutral colored tops and tights or shorts or whatever, and all I've got are like race shirts. And so I'm trying not to, because like half my wardrobe is race shirts.
Yeah, I actually cleaned out some of my race shirts that I want to donate, the ones that I don't like anymore. I mean, some ones are like, sentimental, like my 50K, my marathon and the training, but other ones I'm like, nah, I don't wear this at all.
Right.
So I do that. Cleaned out my closet a little bit.
Yeah, no. It makes a lot of sense. But
I organized like which pants, like which shorts I wear most for running or like workout. I was like, okay, these I don't wear, so I put them on the bottom. The ones I wear most coming out on the top. Yep, I did that today too. And I organized my socks. I was like, man, I feel so productive.
Well, that is good. I'm proud of you. So you're better than me. I'm just kind of like, well, it's organized chaos over here. So
yeah, that's how my room usually is too.
Yeah. Anyway, so So yeah, so you got into the SAR off-road runners, and what were you training for that 50K that time, or I can't
So
remember.
in 2019, I only did a 10 miler because I was like, let me just see
That's what I was doing. Yeah.
let me just see if I like it, because that was the big thing. Because I was like, what if I don't like it? And like I said, I did not like it at first. The cold, the wet, the mud. I was like, this is dumb. This is crap. Like it just, I didn't like it. And then it was cold. It was in January and February, and I was like, oh, I don't like this. But like I said, I only did it because of Shalene and Dora. That was the only reason why. And ever
Well,
since
good.
then, I just kind of, I mean, I still like my road. I'm still roadie at heart, but ever since then, I
I'll try to forgive you for that, but
you can.
but you eventually did a 50K, right? Out at McAllister.
Yeah, in 2020, right before COVID hit. So I'm like,
Oh,
check that off. I'll do another one, but right now I'm like, I don't want to do it.
yeah,
It,
well, it's okay.
it's the training. Like, ask anybody, Coach K, you, anybody will tell you, yeah, just doesn't want to do the training. That's the honest truth.
That's why I'm not doing a whole lot right now. Yeah, because I mean, not running anyway. Yeah, so it's yeah, it's sort of yeah, kind of taking a mental break from all of this stuff. So
Yeah,
I
even ask that she knows, like, I'll do one more marathon and one more 50K after that. She knows I'm not going to do anything more than that. I have no desire to. No desire
yeah,
to.
don't say that because you never know. You'll change your mind at some point. You'll probably go, well, 50 milers. I mean, I didn't die after the 50K, so I guess if it, I mean, believe me, the person who hated running, when I was a child and really didn't get into it until I was like in my late 40s. There's still time for you. And I know this is what kind of sets you apart from um, some of the general population in the trail running
Yeah.
community is that you're younger than a lot of the others out there.
Yeah. So road racing, there's a lot of people more my age, as we all know that. And
Yeah.
a lot of them don't do trails. So when I meet people, they're like, how old are you? And I tell them, they're like, you're so young. I'm like, I know. But my dad, he also likes to go to trail races with me because he says it's better on his knees and he just enjoys it better. And he feels with the nature and it's just more relaxed and just, it's not about like the pace, or you just take your time. And yeah, so I'm
Yeah,
very
no,
unique,
that's
I think, in
exactly
that sense.
why. No, I remember when I did my first 50 miler, it was at Wild Hare. And
Yeah.
that race starts in a horse barn, or at least back then it did. I think it starts outside the barn now, but you still have to
Yeah.
run through to get to the finish nowadays. But I just remember it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just looking around at all the people, and there's like all these gray-haired people out there. And I was like, damn, ultra running really does appeal to older folks,
Yeah.
so
And that's what my dad noticed. He said, there's a lot of people my age there.
yeah, and it kind of makes you feel like, okay, this is my tribe. I belong here. Yay. Whereas if I go to a road race, it's like, oh God, everyone's gonna run over me, So
Yeah, the road races is more for people my age. And I mean, there's obviously people like my
there's
dad's age that go there, but and the 40s and the 50s, but there's a lot of people
and
my age.
plus,
And
yes. No, I get it. I know but it is, yeah, it is a different sort of vibe, all around. And but what was I gonna say? Shoot. Well, yeah, you and I. All right, we're gonna go into the story now because okay, this is one of my favorite stories. All right, so 2, 3, what year was that? 2020,
2021. Yeah.
2021. Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was right before the giant freeze in Texas.
Yes.
Oh my God, that week was like, I still have PTSD from that. I still just keep thinking, oh my God, I hate this so much. But anyway, that weekend before was Rocky Raccoon, and I dragged you with me to do the half marathon. And so we drove out to Huntsville and slept in a hotel. But again, at that time, it was just sort of weird, to share a hotel room with somebody because we weren't sure if we were going to make each other sick, or kill each other. So I think I gave you the bed, and I took the pull-out bed, like on the couch or whatever, which was fine,
I
And
don't
then
even remember that part.
yeah, well, I do. I just remember that time, and that's why, but yeah, so we got out there, and it was starting to get cold that morning, and that was when I introduced you to a lot of the heavy hitters. I think at Tejas Trails, like
Yeah.
Chris and maybe even PJ and Jonathan, who's the tall volunteer
Yeah.
coordinator.
And Nimine, is that his name?
Yeah, I just saw
Yeah.
him.
I remember him.
Yeah, right. And so I remember explicitly because I knew you would finish ahead of me. So I'm just like, okay, here's my car key, just hang on to it. Then you can go sit in my car afterward, and wait for me to come in, and I also informed you that, well, yeah, so that was the original plan. So we took off. We were going to try to stay together, but that never works, because then I start getting self-conscious, and so about 2 miles in, I'm about to cross this one little bridge where there's like this water aid station. And I looked at my phone and I saw a missed call from you. And I'm like, oh shit, what happened? And so I called you and you're like, I lost your car key. Which at the time was not funny because
At the time.
no, I know. All I kept thinking was, oh shit, we're screwed because, we're, 4 hours away. This thing is coming to, swoop down on us and we're going to be stranded here. What are we going to do if I can't get you home or get myself home, And so, but I always, and I always have this adage about, trail runners are really honest people. I mean, you could leave all kinds of value. I probably shouldn't even say this, but you can leave your valuables in the car and no one's going to bother them. Okay. And I've got plenty of experience with this. And I swear if someone proves me wrong, I hate you. Fortunately, yeah, someone did turn in that key by that water aid station. And I was so relieved. And I said, when you and I met back up, and I was like, all right, I'm holding onto the key.
Yeah, that's what you did. You kept the key the rest of the time.
I kept the key because I was just like, if I lose it, then it's my fault. And that's my, then I'm the idiot. But I was just like, okay, so here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go into the lodge when you finish, because I knew it was warm in there.
Yeah.
And you're going to introduce yourself to Nimier or whomever is in there, and just make friends with them. And they'll let you stay. Just drop my name and they'll let you hang out, which of course they did. And of course you're fast friends with everyone. But
I'm just glad you didn't lose that car key. After I lost it, I was like, I hope he doesn't lose that car key. That was definitely an experience.
I know. Well, that actually is only the second time I've lost a car key at a race. I had one when I was in the valley. This was it was like a half marathon. It was road, and it was but it was in kind of a cold time of year. I don't know if it was like, I don't know, February or March, something like that. But anyway, I had on these tights and I was keeping my key in a zip pocket in my tights. Yeah. Okay. And I had to make a pit stop in the woods along the way because and yeah, I did that. And then I realized later, oh fuck, I've lost my key. And I'm like, oh my God, no, please tell me I didn't leave it in that, what I left behind, So I go back to, the scene of the crime. There was no key. And so I'm just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And so I was like, okay, I'm going to drop. I'm going to get up to the 8-mile mark. I'm going to drop because I got to find my key. I mean, my brain was shot, at that point. And I saw this cop at the 8-mile mark, and I'm like, I'm gonna drop here. I lost my car key or my my keys. And he's like, describe them. So I'm like, okay, well, there's a Honda key and there's a home sweet home key. And he's like, yeah. Look like this. And I'm like, holy crap. Are you kidding me? Apparently one of my friends found it on the road and turned it in there. I mean, what weird serendipity is that?
They found it. Oh my God.
So I continued on. I mean, it took me like 3 hours to finish because I was just rattled, but there you go. Anyway, God, I just talked a lot. Anyway.
Hey, people talk a lot. That's why when we get together, we like to talk. Bad. But it makes it fun.
Yeah, no. And so so you like the trails because of the people, the vibe? What is it?
I think it's the people, and it's just something different. I think that's what it is. It's just the people, and it's just people are like, so I think they're so welcoming. In the strollers, there's no strollers, which I like.
Oh my God,
yes. Strollers. I'm that person. I always end up losing to them sometimes.
Oh, I know. Those people are fierce.
They are. That's why I don't like when they're not on the trail. I'm like, okay, bye. I don't have to see you for 3 miles or 10 miles or whatever, because there's no strollers on the trail.
Or if you do a 5K, you don't have all the slow people who don't really understand how this stuff works. They're all crowding the
Yeah.
front. And then they're like this big wave of people, and you're just like trying
Yes.
to, you know,
Yeah.
jockey
Especially
through these people. It's like, what the hell? It's like,
no, I think it's the people, because like I said, they're so welcoming, because they're like, oh wow, you're 31. Like, what brought you here? What are you like?
right.
Why are you doing this? And it just also, it's just fun. You know, like I said, I'm a roadie at heart, and I do both. But I just lately the show, especially with my dad, when we go together, my dad's like, you know, so many people. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. So do you guys have any races planned in the future together?
I think I'm not committed yet, but I think I might train for a marathon. It's the weekend after Rocky Horror, so I just would sign up for the 50K training and then do the marathon the following. But that's a TBD. That's a huge
Is that
TBD.
like the San Antonio Rock and Roll Marathon, or which one?
No, I don't do that anymore. No, it's called Wonderland or something by
Oh,
Spectrum Trail Racing.
yeah,
They have
yeah.
a marathon that day, the November 4th, and it's on a Saturday. So I'm like, well, I can go to work on Monday because it's on Saturday. But
Yeah.
that's a TBD. That's a TBD, like a huge TBD. I don't know if I want to do that just yet. The
Well,
train again,
ugh,
like ask Agatha, ask anybody who knows me. I don't like to train. I just want to
I
run,
don't think
have fun,
anyone
and
does, to be honest. I mean, I hate it, you know. I mean, I don't know,
yeah.
maybe
And then
years ago I liked it, but
oh no, I just don't like. I don't even train for a half marathon. I just do it because of the social part. That's the reason why I don't like the train. It's more the social part and the people.
yeah. I mean, I used to be able to just bang out a half marathon and it was like a 10, a 10K or something. Now I'd have to train for it because I've really, I mean, really the longest thing I've run so far this year are a couple of 10Ks. I mean, I just, because I've been injured and, burned out and stuff. So it's kind of like, all right, I
Yeah,
guess I'm just gonna, but it's funny, this afternoon I was taking out, we were talking about cat litter. I was taking out
yeah.
the bag to the trash and I thought, you know what? I at least have one more 50K in me. It won't be this year, but it'll probably next year. And maybe it'll be at Rocky again.
Hey, that's our birthday weekend.
Yeah, I know, I know. It's on the 10th. Yeah. So yeah, last year I did it on my 61st birth, or was it
You're 60th because this. Yeah, no.
it was my 61st birthday last year.
Yeah, yeah. Because this
Yeah.
year on your birthday you volunteered.
Right. No, I
Yeah,
didn't even go. I didn't even go this year to that one. I volunteered at Bandera. So
yeah. No, because you volunteered at Bandera and then you volunteered at the Greenway Marathon that
oh
we love.
right. Yes, yes, yes. That road race. Yeah, it was on
Yeah.
my birthday. Yeah.
Yes, that's what it was. Because I think I don't even know if I don't even know if I saw you on your birthday.
I know. I think the only person I saw was oh God, now I can't think of his name. Christopher Engstrom. I don't know if you know him or not.
Yeah. Oh, Chris is awesome. He's
Yeah,
awesome.
I love
He's known
him.
me
Yeah.
actually since SAR, since 2018, since SAR.
He's
He's
pretty
awesome.
awesome. And well, I knew him because he was finishing his master's at where I teach. And then of course I would, see him at the SAR races and stuff. And so yeah, so we kind of had that connection. Yeah,
Oh,
but
he's awesome. He's so easy to talk to.
he is. He's just a really lovely I should probably get him on the podcast.
You should, yeah. He
Uh,
would be fun.
I know, I
'Cause
know.
oh yeah, I'd listen to him. I'd like talking to him.
So are there people that you look up to in terms of trail running or even just running in general that you kind of geek out about, or that or just regular folks that you
No,
admire for what they can do or anything
I
like that?
think I always give Agatha. So
Yes,
shout out to Agatha. Like
she's
I
amazing.
always tell Agatha better you than me
Yeah.
because she's a bad A. She's
Oh,
awesome.
you
Really?
can say ass on my podcast. It's fine. Unless your
Just
parents are listening, and then we don't want to
no, they don't listen to the podcast. No,
like,
it's
and
usually.
why not? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's something that fell on my end. I'm sorry.
Oh no,
Scared my
that's
cats.
oh geez, I know. I'm surprised. Well, and then the one that was pawing at the front door. Oh, where
I don't
he
even know what
now I'm sitting here like in a pool of sweat.
I know my cat got all startled. He was sleepy, and now I just woke him up. I'm sorry, it's for me.
Yeah.
But really, there's nobody I really. I mean, it's mostly just Agatha and just people who do the 100 milers or even 50 milers like you. I'm just like, that's awesome because you know what? I don't want to do it. I really have no desire to. Like, I know you say never, but I really don't want to do a 50 miler.
It
I don't want to do the
depends. Like
training.
if you start hanging around people that do this stuff on a regular basis, then you start going, well, they didn't die and they're normal. I mean, I think I can do this, and so
They're
yeah,
normal. No,
yeah.
and
So
there's no really like famous celebrity like trail runners I follow. Like, it's just kind of like, okay, like they're like, when they like, I think awesome, like what, I look up to people who do like Bandera for Western States,
mm,
that cross. I think that's so awesome. Like they're like out there trying to get that ticket or whatever.
oh yeah, yeah.
That's so cool.
I
And
know.
I just, like I said, to really, I mean, I like that you and Coach K are like motivating me. And, my dad, like, I'll sometimes motivate him and some still be like, oh, let's go right together. I'm like, he's like, come on, it'll be fun. But other than that, like, there's really nobody who says, like,
That's
hey,
okay.
like, are you my idol? No, like, I just like talking to you and we have good conversation. That's
That's
really
really
what it
cool.
is.
No, that's okay. I mean, I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah.
So tell me what else you do besides running, because I know you're not always.
No. So a lot of people think I just run. I'm like, no, you have to cross train too. So I do Camp Gladiator,
Mhm.
which
And what is that?
it's the cross training. It's with the weights and the run. There's running involved in sprints and body weight. So I do that, and I'm a real nerd about reading. I love to read, so that's kind of, and I like to read mystery books. So I'm reading more. I'm trying to read more, and I've
Okay.
read actually quite a bit. So I just like to
Read what?
read. I like to read and work out and just hang with friends. Just have a
Yeah,
good time. Of
yeah.
course, living at home,
And
I
living
get
in
to
her.
do.
Well, you've got a job that keeps you on your feet all day too. So tell us about your job.
Yeah. So I actually switched hospitals after 5 years, and I do supply chain. So anything that the surgeons use for the surgeries, I get them ready.
Okay.
And I started in September, and I mean, it was an adjustment from my old job because I knew everybody, and now I don't know. Well, I know the OR, the operating room people, and that's it. But it's just it's fun. I'm on my feet all day, but that's why I don't want to do lots of training so much. I'm on my feet for 8 hours, and I have to train, and
Time
I
on your
just
feet. That's yeah.
yeah. That's what you always tell me. It's time on feet.
Oh, yeah, I know. And I mean, you could probably count some of that toward training, believe me, because it's like last
I should.
weekend. Yeah, I mean, last weekend when I was doing aid station, I count my steps, I put that on Strava, and I call
I
it aid
saw that. I was
shuffle
like,
or whatever,
you're like
I'm just
18
like,
miles. I was
hell.
like, I was
Well,
like, she can
yeah.
run, she can walk, but like you said, it's time on feet.
Yeah, no, and I mean that's really, I mean, for me, the secret to, at least for me, is just those back-to-back uh, runs on the weekends, where you
Yeah,
like, a longish run and then do something the next day, and because that kind of simulates that whole, experience of, being on your feet for a long time. I mean, I realize, as I get older, I find I'm walking more or hiking more,
yeah. And
so
actually, I do walk a lot. I have no shame in walking. People like, you run the whole thing. No, you gotta walk.
no,
You gotta
no,
walk.
no. I mean, I've done it, but I'll tell you, that was a while ago, or I was better trained, and it's just like these days, it's like, nope. In
Well,
fact,
people
I
always ask me, did you
actually,
run the whole 50K? But I'm like, no, why would I run the whole thing?
oh,
Like,
I did. I've actually
you
done that.
gotta walk in between. Or like when I marathon, oh, my marathon, I walked a lot. I
Oh,
have
yeah.
no
Ugh.
shame. Like, I have no shame in walking. Like, I mean, if I can run a 10K nonstop
Mhm.
or 7 miles nonstop. But after that, I'm like, I probably should walk. And I just walk. And
Yeah.
then I start running again and I just go on what I feel like.
And I think
And
that's what's
there's no,
great about the trail experience too, is that there's a lot more of that. You see people out there hiking and, people don't even try to run, to be honest. Like,
well,
they're
some
just out
places
there with
have
their
to walk.
poles doing their thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, well, that's okay. I mean, and I think that's what I love about it also, is that it's kind of inclusive, because I feel like sometimes the road races, I mean, even though you have your slow people and, the
Yeah.
people with strollers and all that stuff who are, zippy, I don't know how they do it, but yeah. So, I mean, I think if you get, but you have I think a little bit more diverse population in the trails, at least in my experience, but
Yeah, you do. And you do. And like I said, the one thing about the road races, I always try to beat those strollers. It doesn't always happen, but I really
those
try to beat
people
those
are tough.
strollers.
I
They're
know.
fast, some of those people. I'm like, you got a stroller and a kid. I have nobody holding me back and I can't beat you. Like, what is this
I
nonsense?
saw a guy, okay, on trail. We were out at Eisenhower doing that, what the hell was it called? The Alamo City Ultra. This is like
Yeah.
a couple of years ago, the second to the last time they did that race. I was doing the 25K, and man, that race is super hot anyway, because it was like end of August, beginning of September, and it's just Eisenhower, which is incredibly rocky and technical. And but I saw this guy, and he had his child in his backpack, and he's out there with his wife, and they're hiking. And I mean, he was hiking faster than I could run. And I'm just like, wow, that's amazing. He's like, well, this is what I do. I'm just like, oh my God, maybe that's what I need. Maybe I just need to get, maybe I should just take my cats with me and, throw them in a backpack. And no, because they'd probably be jumping out and running in the woods, and then I'd never find them again. Or
That's probably what would happen. Yeah, same with my cat. He doesn't have claws in the front, so there's no way he could fend for himself. That's why he's an indoor cat only.
Yeah. My boys, they're not declawed, but it's my furniture will attest.
Oh, that's our furniture. Yeah, that's our furniture too from our previous cats. Yeah, you'd be like, yeah, your furniture's old. It is.
Well, the other thing that I think that I've introduced you to is the volunteer scene.
Yes, that's
I dragged you,
fun.
to Trivium a couple of years ago, two years ago. Yeah, and
that's fun. That's a lot of fun. It's actually the same weekend of that same marathon that I was thinking about doing. So I'm like, well, if I don't do the marathon, I can volunteer, because I mean, I do like to volunteer, and you get to see a different perspective. Because for years I never volunteered. You know that I was like, no, I'm not going to volunteer. I'm not going to volunteer.
Like, come on.
Because I was like, why would I volunteer? But then you see the other side. You see the appreciativeness, and that people actually do care, and they're like, wow, you're out here, like you could be at home, or you could be running.
Yes. No,
it makes a difference. It really does.
Oh,
and
yeah.
At Bandera, oh my gosh, that is huge. When you take me out to Bandera, wow, that you realize
you've done Bandera a couple of times, right? Yeah.
Twice, yeah. But every time I'm like, people appreciate you. They really appreciate you.
That's a fun race to volunteer at, because
it is,
especially on the 100K day, because
yes.
Like I saw, Courtney DeWalter, and I was like, oh.
I remember that, because you saw her, and I think I sent you a picture of her. Did I send you a picture? Yeah.
Well, you did, but I got video.
Yeah, I remember you said that. Yeah. See, I didn't geek out. I was like, that's
great. Well, yeah, I was at a different aid station. Yeah, so I was out at Yaya, which is like the second, I think the last aid station before the finish. But it's but I think and I was glad I got to turn you on to the volunteering, because that's actually how
you get to see a difference. It really does make a difference, because you feel appreciated.
You
say, oh, thanks for being there. You're like, wow, that's nice that they take the time. Even if they don't get anything, they say thanks for being here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you make friends, and and it just feels good to give back. And
it does.
Honestly, I mean, in my case, it's like, because I've volunteered quite a bit. I mean, that's how I got PJ involved in all this. And I can also remember you telling me when we were going up to Trivium, you're like, I think I'd like to be a race director. And then after you're done volunteering, you're like, no, I don't.
No, shout out to PJ, because no, I did not know. When you're telling me like, oh, this stuff and the setup, and I'm like, that's a lot.
It's a lot of work. Yeah. And I don't know that I could do it either. I mean, I considered it, but well, if you're working a full-time job, it's very hard to do that. I don't know how Brad does it, and but anyway, so no, you've been out there and volunteered, and I think that's important, especially if you're younger, because it's like, again, it's more of the older folks, out there volunteering and whatnot. And I think also you pick up some tips. I mean, I learned about those Aftershocks headphones. Do you know what I'm talking about?
That?
Yeah, I learned about those from another runner, and then like these certain sunglasses, they're called Sunski, I think they are. And so you geek out about gear, or Solomon bottles, people.
Yeah, I've heard of it. See,
Solomon bottles, do not bring those if you're going to if you want ice at an aid station, because it's like virtually impossible to stick ice.
Is it?
Yes. Well, they're like a straw almost.
Okay.
They're great. They're light. They're lovely. They make great vests. But it's just like, oh my God, if I'm trying to like shove ice into it, I'm getting ice everywhere.
Appreciate the ice, especially if it's hot. They appreciate the ice. That's one thing I've noticed. They appreciate the ice. They're like,
Oh
can I just
yeah.
have ice? They're like, I don't even want water. I want ice. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
that's so
They
like,
want you to put it in their, down, the women want it put down their sports bra and men want it in their hat. And
yeah. Then I'm like, that's a little too cold for me. I hate the cold. Fun fact, I don't like the cold. I hate the
we
cold.
both, baby. I know. I'm right there with you, but yeah, the volunteer scene is really fun, and I'm really happy that I've gotten you to experience some of that, and hope that you come and join me for some more
I
adventures.
need to. I keep saying I will, but I really like legit need to like because I need to like at my parents' schedule, travel schedule, because I know certain times they're out of town and just see what I can do and what I know I keep saying that, but like I really just gotta be like, okay, what's your travel plan? Like I'm gonna volunteer, even if I want to get more points so that way I can get a free race.
Exactly.
I need to do that just to get a free race.
That's a
And
really good way of looking at it.
I'm probably gonna do Guadalupe, that one at Guadalupe State Park next weekend. They have a 5 miler, a 25K, and a 50K at night. And I might do the 5 miles. I'm like, oh, it's 5 miles at night. I don't need to do the 25K out there just yet. And
Yeah.
then Pedernales, I might do Pedernales, but that's a TBD also. But I do the 20K, and after that, I don't want to do the 60K.
Oh God. Oh no.
Too,
Ugh, God, no.
and
I've
yeah,
done
shout out to
30K.
Agatha who did.
Yeah, I've done some 30K. Well, really have a lot of trouble with Pedernales. I think I've only finished the 30K once, and I've DNF'd it at least 2 or 3 times because I end up throwing up because it's so hot and I'm not yet used to running in the heat. And
Yeah,
yeah, the first time I ever threw up at a race was at Pedernales, and I was just like, "What the hell is going on with me?" And I couldn't. I was 5 miles from the finish. I even tried walking it in with a friend of mine, and I was walking with them, and it felt like they were like running, like a 5 minute mile or something. And I was just like, oh man. So I just kind of wandered back to the aid station. They're like, didn't you just leave?
it's just the big thing is just the humidity in the summer in Texas. We all know the
Yeah.
humidity just
You just got to acclimate. Well, the dew point, I think is what I
yeah.
call it, the don't point. So,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think that's
I mean, that stuff is, ugh.
but hey, it's an adventure. But I think so that's a TBD. Both of those are TBD, but like I said, you gotta just tell me one weekend. I'm just be like, parents, what's your travel plan? I'm gonna go volunteer.
Yeah,
Because
we should do Colorado Bend because yeah, I think I'm going to be out of town for Mule Shoot because I'm going to Zion, and I may or may not make it to Pedernales because I've got a friend of mine who's coming into town and had kind of tentatively talked about wanting to go to dinner, and so this is my friend. He works at National Public Radio in Washington, and
that's awesome.
yeah, I know. Yeah,
That's
he's
so
really
cool.
cool. I've known him for a while, and so
You should interview him.
well, he's not a runner.
Oh.
Yes. But it's
No.
okay. He's an incredibly cool person. But yeah, I mean, I gotta kind of that's the thing about having a podcast is you gotta kind of keep it focused because that's what I tell my students, a lot of times because it's like, well, I want to do, I want to talk about fashion, I want to talk about food, I want to do blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, dude, you got to keep it focused on something because without a focus, people aren't sure. It's kind of like pulling into McDonald's, not like I, go there much, but yeah, you're not going to go there and they're going to be like, well, we're doing tofu burgers this week, because we're in the mood for that. And it's like, but I just want a cheeseburger, and they're like, well, we aren't doing that, and so
Yeah.
yeah, so you have to kind of think about that a little bit, but anyway, so yeah, let's
Yeah.
do something. Oh my God. Anyway, so is there anything else that I can ask you or that you would like to tell us about yourself? She's single, boys.
I am.
Very cute,
I'm
bubbly,
21. No kids.
energetic. Yes. And I can vouch for people. So
Well,
and
thank you. I
yeah,
can't think of anything. If you have anything, but I can't think of anything. I
I
just,
know, I feel like I talked a lot, but that's me.
oh, you didn't. No.
But all right, well, good. Well, thank you so much. Hang on, don't leave. Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm gonna